was a time your cat slept on your chest, right there, chin tucked under yours, purring so hard you could feel it in your ribs. And then one night, without anything happening, they slept at the foot of the bed instead, then on the chair by the window, then in the other room entirely. Nothing broke, nobody yelled, there was no fight, no bad day, no dramatic moment you could point to. And that's exactly the problem, because cats don't announce the moment you lost them. They just quietly move a little further away and wait to see if you notice. Your cat has been keeping a running record of you since the day they walked into your house. Every time you reach for them, every sound you make in the hallway, every choice you make about where the food goes and when it shows up. They aren't grading you on love, they're grading you on predictability, on safety, on whether being near you costs them anything. And most of the things that lower your score are things you'd swear were acts of affection. So here are 22 ordinary, well-meant, completely invisible things that quietly hurt your cat, starting with the ones almost nobody catches, and ending with the one that does the most damage of all. Every single one comes with a fix that takes less than a day. Number 1. You look at them. Not glance. Look. That long, soft, adoring stare you do when they're curled up in the sun and you can't believe how lucky you are. In cat, a fixed, unblinking stare is what a predator does right before it commits. They aren't insulted, they're calculating. Watch them next time and you'll see the ear flick, the shifted weight, the pretend grooming that means they want out of the interaction. The fix costs you 2 seconds. Look at them, then close your eyes slowly and open them. That's a cat telling another cat, "I'm not going to do anything." Do it enough and they'll start doing it back, and you'll have taught yourself a whole new language. Number 2, you pick them up while they're walking toward you. They were coming to you. That was the entire point of the walk. Cat greetings have a script, and it goes tail up, approach, headbutt, rub along your leg, decide what happens next. When you scoop them up at step 2, you've canceled the ceremony they started. Do it enough times and they stop walking toward you at all because the approach became a gamble. Let them finish the greeting. Crouch, put a hand out at their level, let them put their face in it. The lift, if it happens, comes after. Number 3, you wash everything they sleep on the same day. The blanket, the cushion cover, the throw on the couch, the bed they've plattened into the exact shape of themselves. You hand it all back smelling of lavender and nothing. To them, that room just got wiped clean of every trace that they live there, and now they have to remark all of it from scratch. Stagger it. Wash one thing at a time and always leave one unwashed item that still smells like them, and if something must be cleaned, rub it against their clean bedding afterward to move some scent back over. Number 4, you rearranged the furniture. You moved the sofa 18 inches, and to you, the room looks better. To them, an entire road network just got deleted. Cats navigate vertically and by fixed landmarks, and the path from floor to chair arm to shelf to the top of the cabinet was a route they used every day to get somewhere high where nothing could reach them. Watch them after a move and you'll see them walking the perimeter, checking, unsettled. If you rearrange, rebuild at least one continuous climbing path to a high place before you go to bed that night. Number 5. You put the food bowl somewhere they have to eat with their back exposed. In the corner, facing the wall, next to the doorway everyone walks through, eating is the one activity that forces a cat to lower their head and stop scanning, and any animal that does that wants a wall behind them and a view in front. If they carry food out of the bowl onto the floor or eat in short bursts and keep looking up, that's them telling you the position is wrong. Turn the bowl so they face the room. That's it. That's the whole fix. Number 6. The bowl itself is hurting their face. Deep, narrow, steep-sided bowls press the whiskers against the walls every time they go down for a mouthful. Whiskers are not hair. They're wired directly into the nervous system and read air movement and pressure. Constant compression is genuinely unpleasant, and the cat who eats half her food and walks away, then comes back 20 minutes later, is often just taking a break from the sensation. Swap to a wide, flat, shallow dish. It's the single cheapest upgrade in this entire video. Number 7. You bought the covered litter box because it looks nicer. It does look nicer. It's also a box with one exit, poor airflow, and no sightline, which means they go in there knowing that if something comes at them, they're trapped. Some cats never mind. Anxious ones, or cats in a multi-cat house, start holding it, and holding it turns into house soiling months later, and everybody blames the cat. Take the lid off for 2 weeks and watch. If usage changes at all, the lid was the problem. Number 8. The litter box lives next to the washing machine, or the boiler, or the extractor fan, or under the stairs where feet thunder past. They're in the most vulnerable position they ever occupy, and once, at some point, that machine kicked into spin cycle while they're mid-squat. They have not forgotten it. They never will. Move the box to somewhere quiet with 2 ways out, and never place it where a sudden loud noise can happen without warning. Number 9. You laugh when they fall. They misjudge a jump, scrabble, hit the floor, and you howl. They can't parse the joke, but they absolutely read the sudden loud noise from a large animal aimed at them at the exact moment they're already startled. Cats are enormously invested in appearing capable, which is why they'll immediately sit and groom. That's displacement behavior. That's them collecting themselves. Stay quiet. Let them recover. Laugh in the next room if you must. Number 11. Their name only ever means something bad. Say it honestly. When do you use the full name in a firm voice? When it's pill time, nail time, carrier time, get off the counter time? They've connected the sound to the outcome, which is why they now vanish when they hear it. Names are cues, and cues can be poisoned. Spend 2 weeks saying their name and then immediately giving them something good. Food, a treat, the good chin scratch, and nothing else. You can rebuild it, but only by being boringly consistent. Number 11. You reach over the top of their head to pet them. A hand descending from above, across the eye line, is the exact shape and trajectory of a bird of prey. They duck, you assume they're being dramatic, you do it again tomorrow. Approach from the side at their level and offer a finger first at nose height. Let them make the contact. Almost every cat who doesn't like being petted simply doesn't like being approached that way. Number 12. You pet them for 1 stroke too long. There's a window, and every cat has a different one, and yours is probably shorter than you think. The signals arrive well before the swat. Tail tip flicking, skin rippling along the back, ears rotating sideways, head turning toward your hand. That's overstimulation, not betrayal. Count your strokes, stop at 3, and take your hand away. They'll usually push their head back into it, and now you're being invited instead of tolerated, which is a completely different relationship. Number 13. They roll over and you go for the belly. The belly roll is not an invitation. It's the highest trust display a cat has, showing you the one part of their body that isn't armored, and the correct response is to admire it and touch their head. Go for the stomach and you'll get rabbit kicked, and the lesson they take away is that displaying trust gets them grabbed. Do that a few times and they stop rolling over near you at all. Number 14. You threw away the shredded scratching post. It took them 14 months to break that thing in. The frayed sisal was exactly the right resistance, and it was saturated with scent from the glands in their paws, which is half the point of scratching in the first place. You replaced it with a pristine one and they went straight back to the sofa arm. When you replace a post, put the new one directly beside the old one and leave the old one there for a month. Let them transfer over on their own schedule. Number 15. You wipe down the door frames and corners they rub their cheeks on. Cheek rubbing is them depositing scent, and those scent marks are how they tell themselves, "This is my territory and I am safe here." Bleach and strong citrus cleaners wipe the whole map. You don't have to live in filth, just don't scrub every marked corner in the same week, and skip the citrus-heavy products entirely. Cats hate them for good chemical reasons. Number 16. You always win the laser pointer game. This one genuinely hurts, and almost nobody knows it. A hunt has a sequence: stalk, chase, pounce, catch, kill, eat. A laser gives them the first 3 and then just vanishes, so the loop never closes, and the arousal has nowhere to go. That's where the pacing and the yowling at 11 at night comes from. If you use a laser, land the dot on a physical toy at the end so they catch something real, and then feed them a few pieces of food. Hunt, catch, eat. Now they can sleep. Number 17. You wake them up for cuddles. They look so soft, you can't help it. But cats cycle through deep sleep in short blocks, and deep sleep is when the body actually repairs, and theirs is being interrupted 4 or 5 times a day by a giant warm creature that wants affection on its own schedule. Being woken from deep sleep by touch also produces a startle response, and startle plus your face is not the association you want. Admire them sleeping. Wait. Number 18. You feed them at wildly different times. 7 on weekdays, 11 on Sundays, and sometimes 9 because you got caught up. Cats run on a strong internal clock, and anticipation is a real physiological state, so a cat who doesn't know when food comes lives with a low hum of unresolved expectation all day. That's where the countersurfing and the 4 a.m. yelling come from. Pick 2 times, keep them within a 30-minute window, weekends included, and watch the demanding behavior drop off inside a fortnight. Number 19. You closed the door. Maybe just the bedroom, maybe just the office, maybe just when guests come. It isn't the room they want, it's the option. Cats manage stress by controlling their own exits, and a closed door is a route that stopped existing. If a room genuinely has to be off-limits, leave it consistently off-limits rather than sometimes, because unpredictable access is worse than no access, and make sure they have at least 2 ways out of every room they do use. Number 20. You only bring the carrier out on vet day. They see that box maybe 3 times a year, and every single time it appears, something awful follows. Of course they run. The fix is almost insultingly simple. Leave the carrier out permanently, door off with a blanket they like inside, and drop a treat in it a few times a week. Give it 6 weeks and it becomes furniture. Vet trips stop being a wrestling match and stop costing them days of recovery afterward. Number 21. You have 1 litter box for 2 cats, or 2 boxes stacked side by side in 1 room, which, as far as your cats are concerned, is 1 box. Resource competition between cats is almost entirely silent. No fighting, no noise, just 1 cat sitting in a doorway and the other one quietly deciding not to go in. The standard is 1 box per cat plus 1 spare, in separate locations. Same for water, same for high purchase. Most sudden behavior problems in multi-cat homes are just a geography problem. Number 22, and here's the one that does the most damage. They talk to you, and you don't answer. Adult cats barely meow at each other. The meow is something they developed almost entirely for humans, an invented language aimed at one species, and every chirp when you walk in the door and every trill when you pass them on the stairs is them opening a conversation with an animal that isn't their own kind. When you walk past on your phone over and over, they don't conclude that you're busy. They conclude that talking doesn't work. And a cat who stops trying to talk to you is the quietest heartbreak in this entire list, because it looks exactly like a well-behaved cat. So answer them, out loud, every time, even if it's nothing but, hey. You will feel ridiculous for about a week. Then you'll notice they've started saving up things to tell you. None of this makes you a bad owner. Every one of these mistakes comes from someone who wanted to be closer to their cat, not further away. And that's precisely why they're so hard to see. Your cat isn't holding a grudge. They're holding a running average. And the good news about averages is that they move the moment you start adding better numbers to them. Pick 3, not 22. 3. The bowl, the slow blink, and answering them when they speak. Those 3 take no money and about a week, and they'll change more than you expect. Then come back and tell me which one your cat noticed first, because they will notice, and I read every comment. If you want the rest of this series, there's a video on the 10 things cats do that owners consistently read backwards, sitting right there on the screen. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.